Hello, welcome back to Out of Spec Testing. We are here with the Volkswagen ID.Buzz on the new Out of Spec Testing channel. It's relatively new. We just whipped it up in the last few months here, I guess maybe 2 months. So please like and subscribe if you are interested in this content and intrigued by what we're doing. A million tests is really what it comes down to. So today I'm testing this on the highway. Highway range test, 70 miles an hour constant. Really curious to see what it does, because a lot of people's issues with this van is just there's not much range. Looks cool, very unique, charges decently, has decent driver's assistance, has a lot of things going for it. Pretty good sound system, a lot of things I'll talk about in the video itself, but we'll see how far it goes at 70 miles an hour and see if everyone's complaints are valid. So Andreas is behind the camera. He'll be taking the Hummer out actually in a completely separate video. So once again, subscribe if you want to see how far that behemoth goes with 215 kilowatt hours at 70 miles an hour. I digress. This video is focused on this silly buzz thing. Andreas, initial quick thoughts.
It looks so good. I said earlier to Carl, it looks like a concept car. It actually came out the way it was revealed.
It has all the character in the world.
Yeah.
And that is its saving grace, because a lot of people are criticizing the price. This is $72,000 as tested. Starts at 69 plus destination and like your EVSE thrown in there. That brings it up to 72, 73. That's a lot of money, but that's also a big vehicle. I mean, people are spending more than that on the likes of the EV9, other big EVs notably. So I don't think it's actually that outrageous. People are just comparing that to other vehicles with more battery, more range, and that's all everyone seems to care about. I mean, case in point, 215 kilowatt hours over there. This thing though, 91 kilowatt hours gross capacity. Usable, you have about 86 kilowatt hours. It's 4Motion, so this is the first edition, top of the line trim. It's got the 4Motion, so all-wheel drive, which means 2 motors. I don't remember the power numbers. It's not much power, but it's still plenty enough to get out of your own way. Yeah, permanent magnet rear, asynchronous front. So it should be decently efficient for what it can do with only 86 kilowatt hours with what is effectively a brick. They did a lot of good things to bring homage to the original Volkswagen bus from the 60s-ish era. That's when that really was popular, 60s and 70s. And I think it makes up for a lot of critique with the character. It's unique, the inside is fun and cool. We've done a lot of videos over in Out of Spec Reviews showing this, testing this, explaining everything. So today is really just focused on the range test. EPA number, I just want to mention 231 miles.
Yep.
To 420 watt hours per mile, which is, yeah, not great. So you're looking at low 2 point something miles per kilowatt hour. I'm gonna guess 225 for my theory, which is, yeah, not great, but for people who are driving around town, this is awesome. And this is probably what a lot of families want and need more than anyone really cares. So I don't think the range is that big of a deal, but we'll see how it does in this test. If it gets below 200, that's gonna be really bad.
I say 215.
You're gonna say 215, I'm saying 225. We'll see who's right. I've got climate that will be set. Right now all loads are off. But climate will be set between 68 and 72, typically right about 70, just depends on how we feel. No heated, ventilated, or massaging seats turned on. This has all 3 of those. All that will be off, heated steering wheel off. Climate control in the most eco-friendly setting, although we don't really have an eco setting that I could find, and also eco drive mode. So I'm gonna jump out and see how far I can go driving up into Wyoming and then out east. Today's weather, 50s. Right now it's almost 60, but it is a bit chilly with the clouds and we will see some wind.
I'm shaking here.
Andreas is freezing.
I hope the image stabilization looks fine on this phone.
Andreas is freezing. But basically what I want to say is this will do better in the summer, which we'll test again, and it will do worse in deep winter. So this is a good average to see just how far this big old bus can take me. Jeez, everyone's filming this thing. It's like...
We just got snacks, team food. The girl on there says the ciabatta is amazing.
On the note of window switches, that is the one thing I will never forgive Volkswagen for, having a separate button to control the rear windows, especially when the rear windows are this funky. I didn't show them earlier, but they roll sideways, not down, which is hilarious and a perfect homage to the original bus. But we are now gonna hop over the highway, jump on the road, and see what this thing does. It does not have one pedal driving, which is a bit disappointing. At least I can't find it. There's a B mode, of course, which gets you kind of close. But also notably, if you are road tripping this thing, every time you stop and charge or get out of the car or whatever, it will default back to comfort mode. So you want to make sure you double check your eco mode there. And also I reset our trip meter, so we'll see what we get with miles per kilowatt hour. It's funny that they mentioned miles per kilowatt hour here, but on the Monroney it actually said kilowatt hours per 100 miles. Either way, I'll show the math on both of those at the end. And it's currently predicting 250 miles. I will believe that when I see it, especially EPA. But then again, EPA testing has gotten more strict, so maybe they're onto something, but we'll find out. We're just going to go up north and then east and then turn around with a bit more than half percentage, half battery, 50%. And we will check in at 75, 50, and 25 with our progress along the way. By the way, huge shout out to Volkswagen, Ed Carroll Volkswagen, for providing this van. We get it for basically a day to do a bunch of testing and comparison with. So really appreciate those guys. Please give them some love if you want some Volkswagen action or service, or looking for some Volkswagen products in our area. We are in northern Colorado, of course, that's Fort Collins. So Ed Carroll, Fort Collins Volkswagen, they provided this van for us to do this range test and other things. So huge shout out to them. On the way to charging, I did also, by the way, the hat, that's actually from another event when me and Kyle went out and drove Tanner Faust's ID.4 in the desert. That was a blast. It was like a rally setup. Anyways, I did check on the way up here, and 70 miles an hour indicated is indeed 70 miles an hour GPS verified. So we always double check that just to make sure, so that we're testing it at every car at exactly 70. So the exterior is mahi green, very similar to the color of my chips bag that I'm looking forward to getting into around the halfway point. And the, I guess candy white is the white color. I don't know why it's called candy white, but the interior is also gorgeous. This is the only color the interior comes in, at least with the first edition, whereas the exterior had 4 different color options. And everyone is looking at this thing. Like, I'm breaking necks just driving this. It's hilarious. I haven't had this many looks since early Cybertruck like range testing. It's great. Everyone's day is like made by looking at this. But as far as the interior feel and finish, I am very comfortable. I wish I could have my massage seat on. It's not like a crazy nice massage, but we just don't run those during highway range testing anyways. Volkswagen's driver assist is pretty good. The screen is also pretty good, honestly. You can just make little things bigger or smaller. It's cool. I like that. And this screen is honestly pretty responsive. Just still not my favorite software. You know, especially testing the Audi Q6 recently, it seems like that was a much better software package. But this still does have a lot of features you can get used to looking at, and no real issues with this. It's nice, fairly intuitive, looks pretty good, looks kind of fun, similar to the rest of the car, so I'll take it. By the way, the climate, the rear climate is turned off, and the front is on its like smart setting. So I guess that has all these things, and auto, and it knows that I'm the only person, so it's actually not spinning climate over there. So it is driver only climate, kind of like what Kia has, which is pretty great. So I'll take that. The sound system is also Harman Kardon, really quite good. Sounds great for a van bus situation. One of the better ones I've heard. It's not, you know, Volvo EX90, but it's also really, I love it. I enjoy listening to music on it, which I can't say for everything. You have individual subwoofer control as well as various bands of EQ. The USB-C ports, at least the ones I've tested, give you about 45 watts of power, which is very usable, very serviceable, even enough for a MacBook if you're not doing anything crazy. So lots of USB ports in this thing, lots of storage in general. It's just so brilliantly packaged. I see why this thing is awesome. And my day is made being in this. Like, I'm just happy. Colton mentioned it wasn't like his favorite driving position, but honestly, I think it's a fine driving position. I just feel like I'm driving a bus. It makes me want to just like wave to everyone like a bus driver. And it's a bit of a weird feeling being in this huge thing with no one back there, because this could very, very comfortably sit 6 adults and luggage. And yeah, if I was going to California with a bunch of friends, this is exactly what I would look for. I would seek this out to rent it and just enjoy driving around Charging, maybe not so much, because if you don't have the range, that means you have to charge more often, and charging out there can suck. But there's also good places to do it, good ways to do it. It wouldn't be a deterrent. I would still try to spend as much time as I can in the ID.Buzz. All right, guys, I forgot the CarPlay audio situation, so this clip had no original audio, but that is the edge of Wyoming, signified by the buffalo/bison up on the hill. And if we hit this point below 90% state of charge, that's how I know it's going to be kind of a shorter day. Not great. 88% is, yeah, way less than a lot of cars I've tested recently even. So, not expecting to take too long out here, and I don't even know, again, with 2 miles per kilowatt hour, I don't even know if we're going to hit 200 miles. But that being said, we have gone up in elevation just a little bit here, and we probably will see over 2 miles per kilowatt hour by the time it's all said and done, but still might be close to 200 miles on the nose if I had to sit another educated guess. Also worth noting, the 0.29 coefficient of drag on this car is not terrible, but that number multiplied by the actual planar surfaces of the car is where the actual drag is, and that is a lot. This is a lot of surface area. It's a huge box, brick on wheels. So, drastically affected by wind and speed. We are, of course, doing 70 miles an hour. A lot of people do 80, 75, 85, and you'll see even worse efficiency in that case. It's also drastically affected by wind, and we do have a bit of a crosswind right now, but once we get up into I-80 and head east/west, it'll be a headwind/tailwind, which should cancel each other out nicely. All right, well, that's a jackknife semi that almost went off the bridge. Holy cow. So that could cause an issue for the return trip, but we'll see. We have hours before we get back to this point in the road, so that could be cleared out by then, but holy cow. That explains the closure listed on the map for that section right there. We hit 75% state of charge after only 55 miles. So, I guess we could say we might get 220, but the 2.6 miles per kilowatt hour is literally because of the tailwind. You can see a clip right here of the giant flag near Cheyenne blowing straight east, which is what's pushing me along in this very desolate area. So, that is not an efficiency number I would get used to if I was in this car. It'd be cool if I was traveling east. That'd be awesome, but I'm traveling in a loop. Another very specific issue I have is this screen. Swiping around a little bit on the map, trying to zoom in and out, which zooming is really frustrating. And then you get locked out. After like 5 touches, you immediately can't do anything. You have to wait for it, then it does that noise, then you can do like 5 more touches. That's maddening. There has to be an option for the passenger to mess with this display. Or like in a case where I'm driving perfectly straight with lane centering on, it is not dangerous for me to do a little bit of finger movements over here. That is just obscenely frustrating. We are coming up at our turnaround. Let me turn off the wretched voice. There we go. Wait, if you turn it off, it still finishes a sentence. That's crazy. Okay, go back to map. Yep. So, we do have a low TPMS light. Very interesting, because we set tire pressures right before setting off. So I'm wondering if there is a slow leak or something, or maybe the tire pressure sensitivity is just right on the edge. So like if it's barely below factory, then yeah, not really sure what that's all about, but I got out and looked for a second. I pulled off on the shoulder. No one was around me, so I just got out, looked, and then got back up to speed, nice and easy. Don't think that really would affect the range test much, but yeah, very strange to see that. So we'll check on that once we get back. But turning around here at 61% state of charge, definitely a little higher than I would normally, but it's because of the tailwind, which is now about to be a headwind. So that just feels like a safer bet. It's easy to loop back and forth back near the charger itself, so not too worried about that. I'd rather do that than be stranded somewhere because I did not allow enough time. As far as stats, we're turning around at 94 miles. That's not very far. But I do think we will have some juice to burn at the end. So I am expecting probably a 200 mile number, but may not be very deep into 200. So I'll be easing back up. We turned around at 2.9 miles per kilowatt hour indicated. There's definitely no way that's possible heading back. So now we go into the wind, and I'm expecting that to drop precipitously. I don't know how quickly, but definitely noticeably here pretty soon. So I will update you guys again when I hit 50%, but we are jumping back on the highway now at 60. All right, just hit 50% state of charge and 113 miles. We are seeing this drop a little bit now. It's at 2.7, although not as bad as I expected. So there is the off chance that the wind was aggressive going out and then happened to die down a little bit heading back, which is actually a bit of a disappointing factor as far as fairness. But maybe we should say this bus needs all the help it can get. And that would actually help offset some of the cold weather performance. Speaking of cold weather, by the way, this does not have a heat pump. The Canadian built ones do have a heat pump. The US one just has some heat scavenging, so no heat pump. That would probably help this as well. And yeah, it's estimating just over 100 miles of range remaining. So we'll see. At the moment, it's saying I'll get to the charger with 13%. That originally said 21%, so it has dropped quite a bit, and maybe it's because it's not super good at factoring in wind. I also want to point out just the frustration of this route planner, just adding, like, I don't know, Volkswagen engineers need to go try road tripping a Tesla and experiencing adding stops, rearranging stops, how easy that is. This is absolutely maddening to use and try to plan your stops out, and try to plot new points and just try to, you know, plot everything. I mean, it's just really quite finicky, and the pinch to zoom is quite off sometimes, and then it does that. So pretty frustrating to use, but as a estimated range guessometer situation thing, it should be okay. You just have to do 3 taps to get in and see your state of charge estimation. Nowhere else is it shown in the car, but at least they tell you state of charge. You hear that, GM? At some point I should also see Andreas coming this way, because he was charging the Hummer EV and doing his own range test. Completely separate videos, because no one's really cross-shopping these, although that would be hilarious. So you should see him at some point, but it took him a lot longer to charge. He had a lot more energy to deliver. Well, the TPMS light went away, so maybe it was just on the weird precipice and now it's fine. Not really sure, but we are still cruising along. We should be right up here passing Andreas going the other direction in the Hummer EV, which again is its own video. Definitely worth checking out to see how that monstrous brick does on the road. But I am enjoying driving this thing, or being driven, I guess. The Volkswagen cruise control is actually really quite good. Keeps the lane nice and centered. Capacitive wheel is nice. It does ding at you quite a bit to keep your hand on the wheel, but at least it's capacitive, easy to interact with. And lane changing, I have to do it myself. I don't see any automatic lane change functionality, but it does resume lane centering after a lane change automatically. That's also great. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's a pretty good ride. It's not super comfortable, I would say. Like, I'm feeling a lot of the road undulations. This is a fairly bumpy road though, so that's not saying much. Otherwise, on a smooth road, it is a very, very, very nice ride. And yeah, fairly quiet, not super loud in here, which is impressive for essentially a bus. So I'll give them props for that. And once again, the sound system is really pretty solid. Not class leading, but definitely up there with one of the better ones. I haven't heard the bass sound system. The entry-level ID Pro comes to, or ID.Buzz comes with that. Haven't heard that. No comment on that yet. But I feel like it's worth springing for the Harman Kardon. You're already overspending for an ID.Buzz apparently, so you may as well overspend just a bit more.
And there is an ID.Buzz, and I guess it is Jordan Schiefer.
There is Andreas heading the other direction. Looks good. That thing is such a beast. Just missed 25% check-in just a second ago. Heading back into just getting into Cheyenne basically. So a little bit more traffic, but I still haven't had to dip below 70 other than this truck being slow just now. But we've done 156 miles now. So we are on track to do just a bit over 200. which is, I mean, bad and good. I don't know. I wasn't sure if we would even hit 200, but so far, so good. Oh, navigation just took over my little screen there, and I can't change that. That's annoying. There we go. Okay. Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep. Okay. 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour is what we are settling in at, it seems. This is also settled in at about 11% arrival in Wellington, so we will definitely be doing another loop once we're back kind of in the northern Colorado area, which is also kind of expected. That originally said, I think, 20%, so it did drop quite a bit, but definitely not as far. I definitely could have gone another exit into Nebraska, but it's okay. Like I said, playing it safe didn't hurt anyone. So I guess I'll tune in again once we do a turnaround and a couple turnarounds back near the bottom of the pack. We got to see what this thing does low down in low state of charge, and also what it does below zero. That's also going to be a very, very interesting little tidbit of info that no one's probably tested on a Volkswagen ID.Buzz. So looping now onto I-25. We'll see what it does at the very end. 20% is the first warning of low battery. That's pretty good. I think it's nice to mention that you're running out of juice, especially because 20% in this car is only estimated 50 miles, probably realistically 40 miles. So gives you time to find a nearby charger. For me, not a worry, but nice to always see what they do in terms of warning. So I wonder if we'll see a more aggressive warning at 10%, maybe something at 5. Hard to say, but it's cool that it's 20%, not a certain mileage. I'm guessing, I don't know if that's rated range or estimated range based on drive mode or what have you, but that's currently what it's looking like. There we go, 50 miles now. So now we head back down. This is gorgeous, by the way, absolutely stunning. Now we head back down in elevation towards Wellington, and then we do another loop somewhere. But we should see our 2.5 maybe go back up a little bit. So this might actually settle around 2.6, which is close to the number needed to reach that EPA estimate. Maybe a bit shy, but not too far off. Jumping off at Owl Canyon Road, this is one exit north of Wellington. If I had continued to Wellington, it would have been 11% arrival. So this is a good place to turn around and do a little bit of extra driving. So I'm gonna loop backwards, do probably what is about a 15-mile loop, and I may have to do this loop twice, but we'll see. We picked these exits because there is basically no traffic and no stoplight. It's very easy to just ease back on the throttle, ease back onto the highway, and continue onward. So yeah, we'll see how many loops it takes to kill this thing, but also these frontage roads over here are very, very empty. So it's a very safe place to drive, especially if I have to go low speeds at all, and if I even die on the side of the road. Well, A, this thing sticks out like a sore thumb, but also there's plenty of places to pull off safely. As suspected, right at 10% state of charge, we have a extra warning. It turned red. The battery's still orange here, which is interesting, but the percentage turned red, and we seem to have a power limitation right there at the very top of the power bar, which actually was starting to happen well before this, just very gradually. And it also wants me to search for chargers. I'm gonna hit cancel. Now with this loop, it says Wellington at 6%. I'm just gonna keep going and see what happens. We just exited one more time back there at the frontage road where Kyle is waiting for me with the Cybertruck, and we're now at 3%. We exited and flipped around at 4%, now at 3%. Now it's saying 1% on arrival in Wellington, probably because of the elevation drop here again. So I don't think I'll be getting back on the highway after this little stint. I will head down, take the frontage road at some point, and that's where we should be running out. We'll see how far below zero I can get. Again, 91 kilowatt hours gross, 86 usable. So we'll see once we do some math and stuff, and we'll see if we can eat into the buffer anymore. And jumping off the highway for the last time, especially now that we're at 2%. No way that I will be able to get back up the highway to where Kyle's sitting at highway speeds in theory. So I'm going to jump over to the frontage road and head north as much as I can. It says I have 7 miles remaining, and that's about how far away he is, but I'm not sure if I believe it. It is in theory possible, but my power meter is now under half, so we'll see what this says. And what this says still says 4%, and there's Kyle, so he went down the frontage road. So we will go back up the frontage road and see how it looks.
Here comes Jordan in the Buzz, getting on the frontage road, and we're gonna pop in right behind him so when he dies we can get him charging up. Looks pretty good going down the road.
Now with the Cybertruck behind me, easing back up to 70 miles an hour, and we'll see how long cruise control lets me keep it. But these frontage roads are great, no one's on them, so it's really easy to keep 70 miles an hour. Come on, come on, and there we go. Lane centering when not on a highway. What a concept. Come on, Rivian and Lucid, you can't let this Volkswagen top you in that regard. 1% now, so we'll see how long we hold 70 miles an hour, and that's basically as long as we can keep this test going. But I think we have, now it no longer says I can make it. See if the instructions still say what to do though. But it just basically says take a U-turn. That's funny. So I'm not going to be following that. So we'll just see. 1%, we'll drop to 0% for sure on this straight, because we are still once again going up ever so slightly in elevation. But at this point we have done 210 miles. So most people would have stopped, like I said, at 5%. I don't think most people, the average Joe, does not go below 5%. So for most people, this is a 200-mile car. But of course, for the hardcore EV enthusiast, you might be seeing a bit longer at these highway speeds, low highway speeds. Up here in northern Colorado, Wyoming, and Midwest, you know, it's basically 80 miles an hour. And we just hit 0%. It said 3 miles, then 2 miles, now 1 mile. It jumped down 3, 2, 1 within the span of like 5 seconds. So we may be seeing weird behavior down here, I guess, but we're still holding on to 70. So I really hope it holds on a bit longer. I think we still have about a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles before the road runs out, and then we have to turn around. And I'm worried if I turn around, I won't actually be able to get back up to speed. It's saying battery drained, charge vehicle now at 0%. I don't know why that didn't come up right at 0 or right at 1. It was like 1.5 miles when that popped up for some reason. But we're still holding on to 70, so just gonna keep driving like nothing's wrong. All right, just hit 0% and 0 miles remaining at 212 miles. I do wish this gave you the 1/10 of a mile just so we could keep track even more precisely with more granularity, but still holding 70. Love it when you can hold 70 down to 0%. That's such the German way of operating. But we are running out of road here pretty soon, so we'll see. The power bar is barely above how much power I'm actually using right now. So we might make it up to the exit, that's possible, but I really do think we'll be dead close to about that area. All right, it's now at 214 miles, saying only maneuvering possible. Charge vehicle, see owner's manual. I'm still holding 70. Wait, 69. Come on, 68. Okay, we may be losing. Yep, we have lost speed. The power bar is minuscule. Doing some regen now, and oh, I have no power. It cut all power. Okay, interesting. You don't have much past 0, that's for sure. We are done.
Is that where he died?
Okay, it's saying charge vehicle now, otherwise the battery may be damaged. I'm gonna go ahead and shut off all climate. Let's see, what's the best way to do that?
There's no way he died right there. That's too perfect. We were just cruising at 70, and then it rolled into here, and he died right at the... You died right there?
Plug it in.
Wait, you died?
Yeah.
We were just doing 70 the whole way.
Right back there, it said no more driving, maneuvering only.
And now, will it move?
No.
You put it in drive and reverse and...
Yeah, it just shows the regen bar, but there's 0 power bar.
Very convenient place.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the ID.Buzz is dead on the side of the road, and it is time to plug her in off the Cybertruck. So, don't tell me how far it went yet, but I think it went farther than I expected.
What was your guess?
I got to turn this down. Yep, so we're at 24 amps because the ID.Buzz has issues charging on the Cybertruck, Jordan.
Yeah.
Sorry, I messed up the cable. I brought a lot of cables, in case you can't tell.
Never know.
You never know. So one thing we want to make sure we definitely don't do is unlock the ID.Buzz. You can plug it in. Cool. Because that will cut charging.
So dumb.
Or did it cut charging the first time because we unlocked it and it can actually do full power?
That's possible.
Let's do that.
Okay.
All right, let me see if I can dial this thing up to... I was thinking that, yeah, because it's doing 5 kilowatts right now. I think I have to unplug. Why don't you unplug it? I'll set this thing up to 32 amps. You got to click unlock on the key because it's a Volkswagen. It's so frustrating.
Right.
Now you can unlock it. Yep, and pull it out. There we go. Okay, let's go to 32 amps. Maybe it only... Yeah, there we go. 32 amps. Plug her in. In we go.
Yeah,
Connected. Now we'll see if it freaks out. But yeah, there we go. 7 kilowatts. Boom.
Really, it's just 70 miles an hour and you're done.
That's a very German thing, though. There must be some regulation or something with the German cars where they're like, they never go slower than highway speeds.
Yeah.
I don't think we've tested one that like slows down.
It's kind of nice.
It is nice. It gives you everything and then there's nothing.
So I could have made it exactly, I jumped on the front road just in case, but I could have made it on the highway just to get here.
Yeah. Good thing you took the frontage road.
Yeah, right there. It was like...
We were doing 70 the whole way. I'm like, this is going to take an hour.
Yeah, no, it's just, immediately, it doesn't walk it down. It's just done.
And so how far below zero did it go?
So 0 was, let's see, do you want the final mileage?
Uh-oh. I think it is doing...
The voltage side thing?
Yeah, where I think it does actually freak out unless it randomly unlocked. Give it a second, Jordan. I'm going to leave the driver's door cracked. And we're just going to let it not lock.
Yeah.
Just see what happens. So it hit 0 at what mileage?
212, I think it was.
And then the final 70 mile per hour number, which is the final number.
215.
So it did like 3 miles past 0.
Yeah. And it was like 0, 3 miles, and then 2, 1. It just like really walked it down really fast.
Yeah, they do that. But then you actually can continue a bit.
Yep.
Has it picked up yet?
No.
I'm going to give it another full minute before we... Oh. Red. Car went red. Think the 24 amp thing is legit.
Yeah.
All right, so Jordan, one thing that I just noticed that this does, because we were having issues getting it to charge, but we got it to charge. Sometimes, especially off the Cybertruck, we noticed Volkswagens need like a restart where they go into drive cycle and then back to park, and then it'll reset its charging, worriness. It has a maneuvering possible. So after it blew the contactors open like it did on you and just died, you can turn it off, turn it back on, and then it'll let you move for probably half a mile.
So kind of like,
Yeah, Porsches do it, and that's good logic. It really doesn't let you move it far in all the ones that we've tested, so it's not worth adding anything to the test, but it is nice to know that when it does completely die, turn it off, turn it on, and then you get a maneuvering, basically nudge, and it's just enough to, in the Macan at least, to get me over a crest, and then it was dead again completely. So I think that's pretty smart. They leave just a little buffer available at the restart, which is great.
I guess I could help you load up onto a flatbed or something.
Yeah, it's literally, that's the really just enough power to get it on a flatbed, and that's perfect. So we are juicing now. We have the because the Cybertruck voltage sags, we have this thing set at 24 amps, and we're good. So okay, the final range number again?
I think it was 4 parts. I'm talking lucid numbers here. 214, I think, was the...
Okay, and EPA's 231, right?
Yeah.
That's really not bad, dude. Yeah. And to keep in mind, this is a fresh one that's not completely broken in.
Right.
I bet it would hit EPA on a warm day with no wind.
So, yeah, 214 was the...
Yeah. I bet this thing will do 230 on the highway on a warm day.
Summer? Yeah, totally.
But I think most owners can just plan on 100% to 0, 200 miles, driving a little bit faster however they want.
Yeah, there's very few people, like I said, will go below 5.
Yeah, certainly. So, and there's not much benefit to go down below there. This has an okay charging curve.
Yeah.
I would plan, 2 to 5% arrivals at charging stations. Uh-oh, just heard it stop charging. Oh, this might be a long day, Jordan. And the ID.Buzz went red. Looks like we'll be doing this 500 times. How many watt hours did we even put in? 100 watt hours. So we got to do this 30 times.
So we've been here how long now?
I think an hour. we got it up to 1%. The Cybertruck's main problem with this power thing is some cars are sensitive to it and some aren't. But when you get it under load, you get massive voltage sag. So like Lucid with range exchange kept the voltage high, which was amazing. Yep. And no cars freaked out with Lucid range exchange. With Cybertruck, Lucid freaked out on Cybertruck. They updated the Lucid to be okay with it.
Yep.
Because it does indicate some faulty wiring in like a household setting, but inverters like this sag. We have done at least 20 or 30 charging sessions. I feel bad for the onboard charger in this thing.
Right now, we just keep plugging it in, and then it fails after a couple minutes.
And you have to move it every time. So we just like move it an inch, plug it back in, because it goes into a fault state unless you get it in drive or reverse. It's up to 1% and 4 miles.
Okay.
Which is a lot for 1%. I don't think it knows what we have in there.
No.
But I think if I drive really slow.
Because I think we've delivered a few kilowatt hours, honestly.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's 10 miles.
Yeah.
I think I could do it.
All right. We'll find out.
So we're going to go. We got everything off.
Yeah.
Jordan's out of breath.
It's cold.
Okay, lights off. Lights are off. Climate's off. Batteries drained. 1% 4 miles. We're moving. What I don't want to do is even go uphill. So what we should do is a J-turn.
Yeah.
Is it more efficient backwards or forwards, do you think, Jordan?
See, I don't know. That would be interesting.
Okay, let's bust a U-turn.
I know it switches to comfort mode out of eco mode every time you start the car.
Oh, really?
So that's annoying.
All right, well, get us... Oh, the lights turn themselves on.
Eco mode. There we go. That'll help us.
Oh, you can't turn the lights off.
Oh, wow.
God dang. All right, Alyssa and Danny are back there. They're coming. I'm going to go like 20 miles an hour and use neutral as much as possible. It is mostly downhill.
Ambient lighting off.
Can we just turn this whole thing off?
This is the Hypermile Extreme.
Yes, we're just going to let it roll to the charger. It's not all downhill, of course.
Should we reset the trip meter? I have all the stats. You can see what we do.
Yeah, sure. So that's since start. Hold on. Let's go to long-term since start. Oh, no, we got it right here.
Oh, since charge? Okay.
Yeah, since charge. We're at 5.5 miles per kilowatt hour. And we realistically need 5 miles per kilowatt hour.
Yeah, assuming we delivered about 2.
Right, because there's losses.
It's hard to say how much we delivered.
Yeah. I'm going to go let it coast all the way back to 20. And then from 20, we'll hit the throttle, basically. So I'm in drive, but it's doing just a tiny bit of regen. Honestly, we really should just go neutral.
And we have one little hill up here.
Yeah, there's a few of those, though.
Yep.
Don't let anyone tell you can't be efficient in the ID.Buzz, Jordan.
What is our efficiency now?
Over the last 15 minutes and 5 miles, we've averaged 23 miles an hour, mostly in neutral. And we have averaged 12.3 miles per kilowatt hour.
That's insane.
Hell yeah. It's all about going slow. We need to get the bump up the hill, so I use the power, and then we just go down in neutral, and it's been wonderful. So, what'd you average? 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour on the highway?
Yeah.
Okay, well, here on proper roads, this thing can drive all day.
Yeah. Around city? Fine.
Absolutely. So anyway, I think we're going to make it. We got 4 miles of range indicated. It's 4 miles to the charger.
Yeah.
Let's rock and roll.
Pretty much made it.
Holy smokes, Jordan, we have made it. We've got 1% left and 3 miles still indicated. We only used 1 mile to go 9 miles.
If we didn't even use the percent.
Yeah, but we went so gently.
Yeah.
I mean, it was excruciating. It took almost a half hour.
11 miles per kilowatt hour. Nice.
But we really, we're good. We're golden. Danny's charging his Leaf down here. So
he's the only one here now. Earlier the station was full, had a line.
Oh wow.
Yep.
And you guys were charging to 100.
Yep.
crazy.
So was the Aria and the Mitsubishi Outlander.
The Outlander's the real problem.
We
there.
were
I mean,
all
so are we. I mean, we really should. We shouldn't try and clog up infrastructure. Pretty soon we'll be able to start these from the hub.
Yep.
So that'll be nice. Anyway, let's go see what the voltage is down here. Can't wait. It's got to be low.
Yeah.
But it's not like dead, brick dead. But let's test the performance at 1%. Dude, awesome performance down here.
I mean,
Watch
yeah,
it just die.
we'll still do 70 at 1% and down to top of 0.
Germans.
Love it. Plug her in.
All right, let's see how this goes. Take the
That's the worst thing, isn't it?
worst cap in the business because you can't get your finger underneath it between the seal. All right, let's see what the voltage is down here, Jordan. We're in, we're plugged. Everything's good, hopefully. Waiting for EV. Come on, baby. Think. Gosh, here we go. It's test voltage. That's just making sure there's no isolation faults or anything. Station limited, EV limited, 350 volts. Really not bad, dude.
Okay.
That's not low at all. So I'm surprised. I would have guessed this would have been like 320
Yeah, nice.
or even lower. Okay, sick. Well, we'll charge it up enough and then I'll do the 10% challenge on this tonight.
Nice. Okay, wrapped it up, charged it back up.
Whoa.
For more testing, got
Flat floor means stuff goes flying, dude.
laptops are flying. This thing has so much storage space, and little cubbies everywhere. Anyways, that's the end of the range test. 214 miles, which is
Not 215?
No, 214.
214.
I think my original guess is 225. Then I guess 200. I just keep going.
Honestly, better than I thought. I really thought this wouldn't do 200 on the highway,
Yeah,
and the conditions weren't great.
yeah. So that not bad, honestly. I think it's genuinely a city cruiser, and even if you're on the highway, I mean, a lot of families don't like going far. They make this case a lot, so it charges okay.
Yeah, the charging curve, which we'll have charging videos coming on this channel, I think makes it actually all right because you just charge it up to 90 or 100%.
Yeah.
Go to the next one, 150, 200 miles away, and then do another deep charge. And you just do deep charges. It's not the fastest road tripper. It's not going to do well in the 10% challenge, but if you just want to get around and you've got some time, then this is totally acceptable.
Yeah. And I've road tripped worse cars, and this one's awesome, spunky, full of character, so I'm all about it.
Yeah, love it.
So that's it.
Better than I expected, at least.
Yeah, 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour. We were thinking it'd be like 2 something, so
I was thinking one. I was thinking high ones.
dang, yeah. And I'm curious to see what your efficiency is at 80 miles an hour on the 10% challenge, because that, I think, higher speed will drastically kill this thing.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching. Once again, subscribe to this new testing channel, and lots more content to come on that. We'll see you in the next one soon.